Hey, Mud Family. I am here in Mariposa Ecovillage, Old Home Day in Amarillo, Texas. We came out here to build a big eco-village, and it sort of happened. And what's here is pretty incredible. This is Cole and Julia, and this is a tamped earth house, but it was built, here's a little truth window, it was built out of enormous blocks of compressed earth. This is the connection between two of the blocks. The blocks are about 14 inches tall and about 18 inches thick, and then they were plastered over, but they were mixed up with a big tractor, with a rototiller, with a big tractor, and then put through a machine and like squeezed out in these big blocks that there were like half a ton each, that they had to take a big pinchers with a tractor and set them on top of the one below. But they're heavy enough that when they set one on top of the other and wet it down, they stuck together and made this whole big building, all the walls of it. And this is lime plaster over an earthen plaster inside there that my friend Christina Ott and my friend Whitney did. This floor is an oiled earth floor done in squares so that it was easy to repair and didn't look as bad when it cracked. It also tends to crack along the lines rather than across the middle, which makes a big difference. This floor is earth tempered, meaning it's connected thermally to the earth below, so it keeps the place a lot cooler in the summer than the places around it. And one of my favorite things about this is that when the wind is blowing really bad outside, is this roof is, well, it's spray foam, but it seals this place thermally and audio, so when the wind is just going absolutely nuts outside and you close the door, it's like silent. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So how's it been living in here?
Awesome. Yeah.
Stay a fairly stable temperature, or do you have trouble keeping warm in the winter, or how's it working?
Winter, it stays pretty stable. It's a matter of like waking, through the summer, waking up, shutting the windows or shutting the blinds before the heat gets, and then it'll retain that.
Yeah. Because it does get cool here, even in summer at night, and then it gets really hot in the daytime. My friend Christina is from Tennessee, and so she was used to, 95 degrees and 95% humidity, blah. But she got here and it was like 104 under the trailer where she and the dog were hiding. When she called me, she said, "What did you get me into?" But yeah, this floor has held up really well. The material is all from the land, so like if you mixed some up and patched that, it's really easy to do.
So it's not like a cement. It's
No.
like clay?
It's a sand and clay mixture with linseed oil soaked
Okay.
into it.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's important for that. If this was plastered over with concrete on the outside, it would trap moisture, and then the earthen blocks would actually melt inside the walls. So it's important to have it be lime rather than Portland cement that the fixes are made with on the outside. Yeah, because they found out the hard way in Taos, up where the earth ships are, that one of the 400-year-old churches was cement stuccoed to save time and money in the 1970s, and the walls started to disintegrate. And they pulled it off, they rescued it in time, but that was just a little scary. Yeah. So these walls are holding up lovely. Yeah.
I think where a lot of these damage, it leads to like the bathroom and back there.
Yep.
Over 2 years ago, I guess, there was a solid freeze, and I think water the pipes busted before
Yep.
someone wasn't living here at the time.
Yeah. The earthen buildings kind of need some care. So I've seen people watching over them. Well, any building. The one that downstairs is down the hill that's rotting. It's because it's not
Yeah.
being loved. Yeah.
Maintenance,
Yeah.
everything.
It's a shame.
Well, here, let me show you outside, because this is a lime plaster outside, which breathes. And sometimes people will try to fix it with something just to fix it, just because, oh my goodness, I can't let it be like that. But like a paint will tend to peel off because during the year. Hey, puppy.
The moisture in the walls will be colored.
That's right. During the year, though, it's more damp inside during part of the year, and it's more damp outside during part of the year. Mm-hmm. So moisture is migrating through the wall, in and out throughout the year. So like this this stone down here was put down there as a backsplash, so when the water drips down, it doesn't erode the wall. But it will tend to, especially if the plaster doesn't overhang it, it'll tend to get water behind there and cause problems later. So like having a big lean out here, having a slightly angled out so the water drips clear out here rather than running down there, makes a big difference in how long it lasts.
Yeah, the guy that was here before me did a lot of, there's a lot of patchwork is on the back end.
Yep.
The whole back of the house is covered in this.
Yep. And part of the problem was that the western side gets so hot that it dries out. The lime would dry out before it could cure. Even if you put tarps up and sprayed a mist into the air while you were drying, it just dried super fast. It was really hard to put up. Whereas like on the northern side, there's not much in the way of damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the places where water will hit something, and then something that doesn't absorb any water, it'll hit the water and it'll hit the thing and it'll run down, and then it starts to run down and makes a crack. So it's kind of funny what happens. I love this view here, and just to have this view and have the stars and town is over there. I used to come out here at night and just like stare up at the stars, because we don't have that many stars in Cleveland. God kind of gypped us. Yeah. Too much light pollution and too much water. Yeah, it's lovely.
I never thought about the water.
Yeah.
Too much water here, so that's not.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, this wall, because this is probably not very breathable, but the wall itself is also the wall that gets hottest, so it will tend to evaporate the water that does get in it, even into the inside. So the important thing is to like make sure that the gutters stay carefully maintained, because if they don't, they'll start running down the wall and it'll wash away the wall before you can blink.
How did you first hear about the Ecovillage?
So I got recruited to come out and build here by the person who was recruited to run the project, and there was some changes in midstream in everything that made the project have to go a different direction than it was originally meant to. And it lost momentum, and pretty much everybody had to move on. But the opportunity to actually live with other natural builders and while you're building was really great. And just have people come out here on the weekends and build with us, and then sit around the fire and chat and stuff.
People with the same idea.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. But you know that because you guys do that. You just sit around and sit by the fire and whatnot. Yeah,
Enjoy this.
exactly. Enjoy the silence. It's such a lovely space here. Yeah. So some point, at some point, if you start to work with tinting this, I like to use the paint tint from like Sherwin-Williams or Ace Hardware, the tint they mix into the paint. I'll mix into the plaster that I'm putting on there.
Okay.
And you can match the colors pretty well or make something fantastic and different. Or I'll come in with a whitewash, which is basically paint made out of the same lime. That was so it just comes out, you paint over it with a breathable paint, and then when it starts to dim later, or it's super cheap paint that goes on quick, and you can build up layers and layers of that, and it doesn't crack as easy as the plaster does.
Okay.
So if you
How long
wanted,
does that paint usually stay on until you have to do another layer?
well, I depends on how much wear and tear you get. So if you put on several layers to begin with, then 5 years later you'll put some more layers on. But
It depends on like your initial work effort.
and the way that the rain comes in, and you guys don't have snow loads here because the snow goes that way really fast, and the rain kind of is all like it's a sandblaster, just like
Yeah,
knocking
it would
things
probably
in.
be the wind that's the issue here.
Yep.
Just the sandblast of the soil that the wind carries.
So you would put, if you did several more coats over on this side of whatever, then it will protect it better. But you can put the paint tape, the blue paint tape down there, and so to cover your nice stone, and
Keep it clean.
then do wild colors or something.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would.
But use a breathable natural paint rather than something that latex, because you saw what it did on the other side. It just kind of bubbles off eventually and then takes part of the building with it. It's like, no, don't do that. Yeah. And definitely, as soon as you have some time, it looks like it got a good wind, didn't it?
I had a friend who their roof was literally yanked off in a tornado storm.
Yeah,
in South
yeah.
Canyon, to the point where literally my friend was in his room and the ceiling started trembling, and then their roof physically was lifted up and then plopped back down.
Ooh, that's scary. That's scary. But yeah, as soon as you possibly can before you get another rainy season, get a gutter on that and get the roof bolted down, because the water is gonna come off of there and just pound against the wall, and make everything go to heck a little faster.
Oh yeah.
So much potential.
Yeah. Well, I'll go and let you do your walk, but I have something for you.
Okay. It was really awesome to meet you.
Yeah. It was so cool that you just happened to be here.
Yeah. And like I said, all the other places are open. On this one,